Hello and, hello and welcome to my How to Play Civilization 5. I am Ayane Ranma, and in this video I'm going to explain how you can play Civilization 5, how basic things works. This video is for people who just picked up the game and may struggle a bit with all the options and don't really know what should they do, what can they do, what is good, what is not, and why should they do things. So let's go into single player and set up a game, because it starts already here. You have here the maps that the game basically offers. There are additional maps, also maps that you can download or made yourself in the editor or whatever. I recommend go for Pangaea because most civilizations are really good at that and are worse at other maps, and it's also usually best balanced and best to learn the game. So I recommend that. Then 8 players is fine. Difficulty in your case, I would recommend go for Prince. If you're really new to the game, go for Prince. On Prince, the AI does not cheat and you do not get any special benefits. If you go easier than that, you get special benefits, therefore you kind of cheat. If you go higher, the AI starts to cheat. If you're new, try on Prince, you can always go up later. I recommend standard pace because on quick things are a little bit fast and maybe a bit too hard to realize, and on marathon, if it's your first game, it's better to get going on a faster game speed to learn the mechanics and then maybe start a new game than to stick hundreds of hours into one marathon game and then lose it because you didn't understand the stuff. As in Civilizations, there are some that are really good and some that are really bad. It's up to you what you want to do. I will play with Rome because it's quite a good basic civ. It's not OP and it doesn't change the game all that much, but it's still decent. So I will quickly mention every civ that is really good. Poland is really good. Venice is terrible to learn the game. England is really good when you want to learn war. Arabia is also really good to learn war. The Iroquois are terrible. Aztecs is generally really good. Good for war, good for economy, really good. Babylon is the best city in the civilization in the game, period. Super good in science and therefore super good in the game. It's insanely good. Maya is also really good and even better if you know what you're doing. Same with the Inca. Shoshone is amazing. I love the Shoshone. Quickly why I love the Shoshone. The Pathfinder replaces the Scout. There are ruins that you can discover and take with your units. And then they give you a random benefit. If you take them with a Pathfinder, the benefit is not random, but you can actually choose from a list. This means you only get good benefits and not just a random one. Korea is amazing for science if you know what you do. Yeah, that's about it. The rest is either very specific, depending on the map, or really bad, or just a bit more difficult for a beginner. We will go for Rome. You also have the advanced setup, where you can set other things different, but it's actually fine to just leave it at that. This can be important. I like to have quick combat on, because the combat animations are done really nice and really well, but they take so long, and once you've seen them 1,000 times, you don't want to see them again. So that's for the setup that I recommend. You can always play again once you've seen it and try with different settings here. So we start here with Rome, and I'll explain actually the first steps
The blessings
that
of
you
the
can
gods
make.
be upon you, Caesar Augustus, Emperor of Rome, and all her holdings. Your empire was the greatest and longest lived of all in Western civilization, and your people single-handedly have shaped its culture, law, art, and warfare like none other, before or since. Through years of glorious conquest, Rome came to dominate all the lands of the Mediterranean, from Spain in the west to Syria in the east, and her dominion would eventually expand to cover much of England and northern Germany. Roman art and architecture still awe and inspire the world, and she remains the envy of all lesser civilizations who have followed. O mighty Emperor, you...
Okay, so first you start with 2 units. And it's the first steps are the most important steps in your game. First you see I have a hex grid on that shows me the tiles. I have what tile yield every tile has, and I have these pretty icons over here. All of that can be enabled and disabled with the button right next to your minimap down here. Click on it and you will have these things. I really like these to be on because they are super useful, and they're off, you tend to sometimes miss things. Then the yield icons, I mean it's much more pretty without them, but they're so useful and important to know where to settle and do what. And also, like this, I may be not sure if this is a hill or flat. Is this a hill or flat? I'm not sure. With this on, I know, okay, this gives 2 production, so it's a hill. Learned already something. Every hill gives 2 production, except for snow. Snow is garbage. And I also like this because sometimes it's a bit hard to see where the river exactly goes or where the coastline is. But with this one, you see it better. Also, you may wonder, this list, you don't have the score list on the side. It's in the setting. You can also change here quick combat again, which is really nice. Somewhere it is. Here, single player score list and multiplayer score list. That's what is over here. That's really useful. Also, these things may be interesting for you. I also turned the advisors out because I don't need them anymore. Very good. So about settling, that's the first thing you do. First, I would recommend move your warrior. Your warrior is a combat unit with 8 melee combat strength. That is an indicator of its defense and offense. Ranged units have a ranged attack down here, which means they can shoot at things without taking damage, but for defending, it's the strength that counts. It has 2 movements, which means it can walk 2 tiles, or up to 2 tiles. Because if I walk on a hill or forest, it takes up 2 movement. So if I have 2 movement or less, my movement ends afterwards. If I still have 1 movement, I could move in. You can also right-click on the tile your unit stands, and the blue lines will indicate where you can actually walk to. So you see, I cannot walk here even though it's 2 tiles. That's why the river. The river, after passing a river, your movement ends, no matter how much movement you have down here. So I would recommend to move the warrior first. Why? To see a bit more land. Also, a forest blocks vision, and so does a hill, although from a hill you can watch over a forest. I will follow the river for now a little bit to see what is down. We see there's more gold and some other good resources. Sadly, they are on tundra. Tundra is base tea. The base yield is 1 food, so it's worse than plains or grassland. Now I have still 1 movement left. I will move over here so I can see the fog over here. More grassland. With this one, you could settle on place. That's totally okay. That's a good decision. Or not a bad decision. But there are 2 better decisions. Why is that already a good decision? You have a river, this means fresh water, and you have a mountain, this means an observatory. Observatory, fresh water, you may ask? What is that? Technology will tell us. We open the tech tree and we see there is a very useful building, the garden. It's up here at theology. This gives plus 25 great people generation in this city. That's a bit not so relevant for the early game, but in the late game, I promise you, great people generation is hugely important. And as it says here, city must be built next to a river or lake. And that's why the river is very important. If I settle not right next to the river, I don't get this. So, you can also, if you're not sure, if for example a river ends somewhere, if a tile at the end is at the river, you can hover over it. You see, here on the bottom right it tells me grassland, river to food. If I go over here, it tells me only grassland. So, if I'm not sure if the tile that I want to settle on really has that river, check with the tooltip. Then I said the mountain is also important. Why the mountain? There is this building. City must be built next to a mountain. This means right next to a mountain, not in your borders, just next to the city tile. And it gives plus 50% science. In the late game, that's ridiculous. That's incredibly overpowered. And yet we can build our capital right next to a mountain. That's amazing. So why would I want to move? One point. I could move on the hill or I could move on the cotton. The point is, when you settle, you will always get 2 food and 1 production. And in addition to that, you will get everything else the tile provides. So settling here would mean I get 2 food and 1 production, like I always do, and nothing else. Settling on the hill means I would get 2 food and 1, oh no, 2 production. I would get 2 food and 2 production. So already better than this tile. And that's good. Early on this matters so much. And in here I would still get 2 food and 1 production, but also 2 gold, and that's good. And the cotton, which is a luxury resource that gives happiness, very important, would also be hooked up as soon as you have the technology. As you see, the tooltip says cotton requires calendar. Calendar is a technology. So I can settle on either. The cotton, just the icon gets removed, but the cotton is still there. And as soon as you have the technology, everything you have settled on will be hooked up. I will move to the hill because the hill gives me more production. That's early on more valuable than gold. And also the hill gives my city a more defense strength. That means when it gets attacked by an enemy, it has the higher combat strength and stays longer alive, so it's easier to defend. It's not worth for the tile to leave a river or a mountain. It's always best to have river and mountain if possible. And feel free to restart the game. I mean, it's the best way to learn, to just try again. As you see, it costs all my movement because, like I said, a hill costs 2 movement. So would I have a river crossing. So now I will settle here. No, I will first move the warrior again. Maybe the warrior can discover something. Not really. There is snow down here, the only useless type. We will settle here and found Rome. Good. Now we have a city. You can click here on production and it will open the menu for you of what you can produce in your city. Or you can also click on the city itself and you will get this menu, where you can also open certain tabs to do some setting for the city. For example, if I go on production focus, as you see, the city switches over what it works. And over here you see the changes that affect the city. Some things may not make a difference yet, but later on they can. What I recommend is, this may be a bit advanced for some. You can leave it on default and just explore with the game. But if you really want to optimize things, go on production focus, and lock down the food tiles. Why? When your city grows, when it grows to the next population, a new person will be assigned to a free tile, and the yield of that tile, so production, food, gold, or whatever else it may yield, will be applied to this very turn before the turn rolls over, except for food. This means you want the city to work on production, preferably when it grows, because you get that production right away, while food, this one would be wasted. But you still want the city to grow, so you're not doing this. My city is stagnating, not growing like this. I want it to grow, so I will work the best tile, which is usually food and production. Money is nice, but not as important as food and production, so this tile is clearly better than this. And my city will grow in 8 turns. This is nice. I can also choose here what I want to produce, or maybe what I want to buy if I have a lot of money. Let's produce something. Early on I recommend Scout and then Monument. That's usually the best thing. If you're a bit afraid of enemy aggression or of barbarians, you can go with the third option for a warrior or maybe for a worker to improve the land. That depends a bit on the situation. I recommend generally go Scout and then Monument. Now it says we have to choose a research. Here you see the options that you have available right away, and you can also check the tech tree and see what comes later. Never do something like, ooh, education, I like that, let's go for that, and the game will figure out a way of that for you. Never do that, because you miss out on an optimal way. It's not a problem if you don't have the very perfect way, but usually you will know better than the game very quickly. I recommend generally pottery. Pottery gives you 2 very important buildings for your cities. One is the shrine that gives you faith, which is important for a religion and gives you additional mechanics in the game that can be very powerful if used well. The other one is very important because it gives you food, makes your city grow faster, and that's really important because you want a big city. A big city works more tiles, therefore has more production, more money, builds more buildings faster, and also produces more science, because science output from your city is based on its population. For example, already the library, a very early science building, gives you 1 science for every 2 citizens. This means the more citizens, the more population I have in my capital or in my cities, the more science I will get out of this library. It doesn't matter when I build it, it means in general for the current state of the city. So as you see, writing is also quite an important technology because it allows me to research the rest faster. Depending on the situation, it can be good to go for animal husbandry if, for example, you have resources that require a pasture, which could be cows or sheep. Or it could be good to go for mining if I have, for example, copper, gold, or silver. So these 3 are generally the first technologies you could go for. Sometimes going for sailing early can be good too. For example, if you have lots of fish, pearls, crabs, or whales. They're just the resources on water. Generally prefer the ones where you actually have luxury resources. So now let's just go for pottery, because we have no animals here, so we don't need animal husbandry, and we also have nothing to mine. As you see, this one requires calendar, so does this one. And calendar is this one. Allows to use a plantation. Calendar is also a good early game option, but I would say others are more important. Especially plantation means I can build a plantation here, yes, but here I also need another technology because I can't build a plantation on a forest. This means I have to chop down the forest on top of it, and that requires a technology too, which is mining. Mining allows you to chop down a forest. All of these improvements can be done by workers, which you build in your city. But because you don't have the technology to improve most of these tiles from the very beginning, you won't start with a worker, but better with a scout. And you also want to explore the map, so a scout is a really good early game option. Let's continue. Try to move around and uncover as many tiles as possible. Oh, we have found a natural wonder. Sadly, not one of the good ones. 2 production and 3 gold. I mean, it's better than a hill, but it cannot be improved. So in the long run, it's not an amazing tile. But it's okay, and it gives us 1 happiness because we have discovered it. And happiness is very important. I'll tell you why a little bit later. Also, you see here this striped border. That means there is a city-state. We will discover it as soon as we see a unit of that city-state or touch the border with one of our units. We have currently 9 gold. We found Vancouver. Because we are the first to find them, we get 30 gold. If someone else was faster than us, we only get 15 gold. So, we are first here, which is very nice. But we can close this window again. What I recommend you to do is to click on the city-state and do Pledge to Protect. Why? The city-state will like you for that a little bit, and you will get 1 approval or influence on them up until it has 5. You have 5 influence on them, and it will stay at that. By doing quests for them, which they give you over time, you can even increase that, or by giving them a gift, which is usually give them money, and you will get a lot of influence. What does influence on a city-state help? Well, there are different kinds of city-states. This one is a maritime city-state. And you see also this symbol. All maritime city-states have this symbol. This means this city-state, once you have enough influence, will give your capital food. And when you have a lot of influence, it will give all your cities food. That's very nice. Free food, who wouldn't like that? I mean, I like it. Also, it has furs in its land. This means you will, if you are very friendly with it, it will give you the furs happiness, as if it would trade with you. Right now we can't do anything with it because we just discovered it. So let's move further with our warrior and discover more land. I could move on this hill, but I see this is a forest hill, so I can't look over it. Although this tile and this tile will be uncovered if I move here. But then where do I move next? Probably on this hill. Or I could ignore the tile over here and hope to see more up here by moving on the truffles. Ah, I see. A lake. That's good. That's fresh water. I'm actually not sure if the natural wonders count as mountains. I mean, logically it's a mountain, but I'm not sure if it counts a mountain for the observatory. You can try out. If it does, then this is an amazing settling spot, because there's fresh water for your garden and a mountain for your observatory. I will move now on this hill to see all the tiles right next to it. Okay. And my scout will move in another direction. Okay. Now I will build a monument. I have to always pay a little bit of attention to the growth, because I'm on production focus, and I may want to switch the tile which is working after it has grown. So pay attention to that. In 2 turns the city will grow. We found our first ruin. Very nice. Let's get that. Here it doesn't matter on which tile I move. I will not see anything different. A river over here. Nice. Oh, but more tundra in the south. I mean, it's...
Dios
Oh.
bendiga a aquellos que lo merezcan. Soy Isabel de España.
We've met Spain. You can open the trade and see what they have. Sometimes very useful if you encounter someone later on to check how many cities do they have, what resources do they have. For now it's too early, she doesn't have much. You can also discuss things. We usually don't need this. We go through diplomacy a little bit later when we have more options. And also through trade when we actually have something to trade. Oh, we were unlucky. She stole the ruin from us. Another one over here. This tells us something. This means she didn't came from the east. She probably came from the north. So we know, since her warrior came from the north, if we would go in that direction, we would not find any ruins because this warrior has taken all of them. This means it is smarter to go east or west. There is another civilization. You see the borders here. I've become very practiced with that and see them even when other people don't. Our city has grown. Let's check it, what it does. We can focus more on food. Oh, but the monument takes a turn longer then. Let's work one turn like this and check again next turn. Because 2 turns here and in 2 turns we could build a granary, for example, or a shrine, would be really nice. Now let's move our units. We have the warrior over here and we can meet someone. Again, nothing we can do. When you scout like this, take the ruin and I will move my scout to the west because there's a lot of unexplored land and this little spot can the warrior do on his way home. Because I recommend to keep the warrior not too long on scouting but bring him back at some point to defend your lands against barbarians. Let's check our city again. Oh, it goes to 2 turns, so let's keep it at this. Oh, we were very unlucky. This is the worst ruin you can have. It shows me where barbarian camps are. And that's something I really don't care about. At least at this point. Move again. Move here and try to find what is here. I usually do not deal with barbarians too early, at least not with the camps, especially this one that is on a hill. So you see it gets a plus 25% bonus to its strength because of the terrain. I'm not gonna fight that. But here I want to produce something. I recommend a granary because I can't improve any of the resources around it. At least not yet. And the granary, the food is really good. If I have wheat or bananas or deer around it, then it's even better. Because it gets +1 food for each wheat, banana and deer. And that's amazing. Also we need to pick a research. But before that, let's actually grow. It will take a little while, but it's fine. Research-wise, we have now more options because we got this technology and can choose another one. As we know, to improve our resources, we need mining to chop the forest and we need calendar to construct a plantation. I recommend to do that. We could also go for animal husbandry. We don't have an animal resource yet, but there could be horses on the map. This reveals horses. I would recommend to go first for mining here. And after the granary, build a worker. Of course, what you do in what order can be very different depending on your map, your civilization, and your strategy. What I show here is general advice that is never bad. Sometimes there is a more optimal way to do things. Sadly, Spain is stealing all the ruins. Oh, we see the city took a new tile. So I am currently working this tile, as I know, but I rather work the one that gives 2 food and 2 gold. As you see, my scout runs super fast through things even though he has just 2 movement. And also did run over rivers without ending its movement. The scout ignores all terrain conditions. The only thing that's still impassable is a mountain, while the warrior has all the restrictions. Oh, they already spawned a barbarian brute. This one may attack my city or come to pillage my land. So it is time to bring back my warriors soon. In this situation, don't move here, because then both can attack you and take you, from both sides. I will move a little bit back and down here, so this guy cannot attack me, because he has also just 2 movement. He can't reach me. And only this guy could attack me now. And that's fine. I can survive 1 attack at ease. Oh, we're super unlucky here. I will move here, again out of range for this guy. I recommend with your warrior to not fight barbarians when there are more of them. If it's just one strolling around, you can engage in combat with it. Here we have something very important, crucial for your strategy. These 4 social policies you get to choose from. If you accidentally click it away, you can always reopen it by clicking on the culture up here, that's the purple stuff, and choose something. Never go for honor or piety. They are very, very bad. It's just what they give. Honor is supposed to be for war, and piety is supposed to be for religion. Both are bad, not because religion or war would be a bad thing to do, but because those two give your economy just so many good and useful benefits that they are much better than these. If I want to get a religion, I still better go for these, because if I get a religion and a strong economy, I'm set for a good game. This will just give me things that are only good if I get a religion, and will not really help me all that much to actually get a religion. It's just not strong enough. And this, even though it's good for war, war is usually costing you a lot of money and happiness. And this stuff doesn't give you much happiness or money compared to this, for example. This gives you big cities a lot of money and happiness. So good. It gives you a lot of culture. It lets you build things faster. It lets your cities grow faster. This is so much better than this. I mean, this doesn't help you in war directly, but it makes your economy stable, which means you will have an easier time to actually keep a war going. And therefore, this is for war much better than this. I recommend, if you're not sure what to do with these, go for tradition. It's your standard option. And also, what we will do here. And this guy starts to annoy me. Maybe there are some ruins in Tundra. I could explore that. Let's bring our warrior a little bit closer to our city. Oh, Spain, why you always follow me directly? Oh, and there is another civilization. We are incredibly unlucky with the ruins in this game. We got a new tile, but we don't want to work it. It has only one food and one production, and I prefer these two. Because if we do this, we grow in 9 turns. And with this 5 turns, the production stays the same, 3 turns. So this is much better. Often go and try out what happens if you change something. Oh, there's another striped border. There's a city-state down there. And research, we said we want calendar. You can also queue up technologies. You can say with shift, you can click on one and then say with shift, hold shift, and then this, and afterwards this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Easy. But we want calendar. He offers to buy an embassy for money. I tend to refuse that. Yes, I recommend refuse that. The opinions on what to do there differ a bit. Some people like to sell it, some people like to exchange it, and other people like to ignore it. So if you have sold it before, it's not a big deal. It lets them, an embassy means it lets them know where your capital is and see the tiles around it. Not permanently, but just it discovers it. Like I see here already. This is such a terrible river here. Because all tundra and snow, that's so bad. We are unlucky with the start. We get a new one of this. We are not building a wonder currently, so we continue going this path. And we can choose something new to produce. I recommend here a worker. You could also go for a shrine and start faith going. But I think we have more priority on the worker since we want to improve these tiles. Our city has grown again. Let's check the tiles. Can work that, grow in 16 turns, and build the worker in 8 turns. If you do this, it's 11 turns and 9 turns. It's already better. Just 1 turn slower on that. What if we do this? 8 turns and 11, and here it's 11 turns and 9 turns. That sounds really good. Also 2 money, that's nice. I think this is the best option. The city will go towards this bison as we see. The purple border will show what the city wants next and how long it will take for that. Culture determines how quickly your city will get the new tiles. The more culture I produce, the quicker the city gets new tiles. That's why the monument early is really important, since it gives 2 culture. Therefore, the tiles will be claimed quicker, which is important early on and completely irrelevant later. Also, the 2 culture means I get the social policies a little bit faster, which is really nice. We have found the city and we're first this time. This also may mean that there are still some ruins to grab. Also, like I said, let's protect them. Or just a barbarian camp. Sadly, no ruins. Someone has founded a pantheon, God King. We have 118 money. Can we do something with it? We could buy a tile. You can always only buy a tile that is adjacent to your borders and within workable range, which means within 3 tiles of the city center, that is. So I can't buy the bison, but I could buy this tile and then this tile. But the city will grab this tile in 3 turns, so I wait on that. All the other tiles do not have high priority right now. Let's see what the civilization is that is over here and bring our scout over there. And check in the diplomacy menu if the city-states have a quest for us. You see, no icon, so no quest for us. Also, you can see here if the AIs like you or not. Some of them blatantly lie though. For example, Napoleon. Don't trust Napoleon. Let's go a little bit north here and scout with the warriors since there are no barbarians approaching. If we see a barbarian appear at our borders, we bring him home immediately to defend. And we try to not go too far, so we are within more or less 4 turns home again. Arabia.
مرحبا أيها العجمي، أنا هارون الرشيد خليفة العرب. هلم إلي وحدثني عن إمبراطوريتك. ماذا كنت تقول؟
A city-state. And we first, really, Spain came all the way down here and missed the city-state, and so did Arabia. Since we know we're first to find this, this means nobody has, at this moment, touched its borders. This could mean that there are ruins close to it. No, ruins are never one tile directly to the city, but it could be like here, or here, or here, something like that. Let's explore that. Ruins can have really useful things in there. For example, a free technology, or a little bit of culture right away. Or population for your city, or just a bunch of money. So ruins are really useful. And of course, with the Shoshone, like I told earlier, ooh, that's a bit scary. Let's move around this way. Here we can fight this barbarian easy peasy, because it's standing alone, we will kill it and there are no other barbarians around. Oh, we didn't kill it. Unlucky roll, I guess. We get a new technology. Let's see if we have horses. It is very possible that we have horses and iron, which are early game resources. Oh, there is a barbarian approaching. I will move on this hill, because I wanted to see if maybe there is a ruin here. I know I may get attacked from a barbarian, but I'm on a hill, this means I get a defense benefit. Your units will get defensive benefits on hills and forest, and they will get a penalty on marsh. Also, when you melee attack over the river, let's say my unit stands on this hill and the enemy unit stands on this cotton, I will get a penalty on attacking because I cross a river when attacking, only for melee units. So be careful about that. This barbarian did not attack me. If I'm afraid that I get attacked and take too much damage, I can also fortify. That is F on your keyboard, or over here the little arrows allow you additional options, as deleting a unit can be useful if you don't need a unit anymore, or fortify. This means I will get an additional defense bonus when I'm attacked in melee or ranged. This can be really useful. As you see, this barbarian brute in its camp is also fortified. This gives him a 40% defense bonus. This can be very useful if you want to prevent an enemy from killing a unit of yours or getting too close. Also, this shows that my city can attack enemy units. Every city can attack enemy units within 2 tiles of its borders. Therefore, I will shoot here the damaged barbarian. Also, I will move my worker down here. Barbarians cannot reach me down here, so I expect to be safe. We can produce something. We could go for a wonder. You know what? Let's build a wonder. Let's build Stonehenge. It's a good wonder. We may fail on it. That's a risk we are taking. But I probably should explain wonders. So, I will deal with the social policy right after. A wonder is a building that you build in your city, and once it's finished, nobody else, no other cities, no one can ever build that anymore. Because you are the first who got it, you get it. That's why the wonders take so much production and are super good. Let's quickly compare. The shrine is a basic religious building. It gives 1 faith and costs 40 production. The Stonehenge gives 5 faith and also engineer points, but it costs 185 production. That's a lot. But it's a wonder. This means if I get it, nobody else can. There are different ways to make it faster to build a wonder. I mean, I don't want to build it halfway and then someone else finishes it. That means I don't get it. That means I have kind of wasted my production in it. As a consolidation prize, I will get a little bit of money for it. But it's not worth it. Either you get it or you don't try at all. How do you know if you get it? There are a few tricks on making sure that you get a wonder. First of all, make sure you use this production one. So in 2 turns I will work one of these hills and get more production. Also in 2 turns my city will grow to this, which is 2 food and 1 production. I want my city to grow and work on production. That's the first and most important thing. Don't do this, because this usually means that the city will not do the optimized way. Right now, 5 turns to grow, yeah, I get a little bit more production than before, but 5 turns to grow is long. I prefer to have it grow quickly and then change to full production. This needs a little bit of trial and error. I have a lot of experience with Russian wonders, so I'm quite good at setting the production manually. Also, there are things like social policies. As we can see, this one gives us 15% production when building wonders. That's exactly what we need right now. So we take this. If you are building a wonder or plan to build a wonder, this has priority. If you don't intend to build a wonder at all, you can ignore this and first get down to these 2, because this one and this one are the best out of these 3. You see, we already saved some time. Also, chopping forests is really helpful to build wonders. Because if you finished chopping a forest, you will get an instant boost of production to your city, or respectively to what your city is currently building. Therefore, we will soon chop this forest. Those barbarians may be troublesome though, because I don't want them to get close to my work. I have 5 turns to improve this. I will quickly do this because it's useful, and afterwards I will move to this forest and chop it. Both are damaged, both are on a hill. I will attack the closer one, and my warrior will get closer to my city to help fight them. This one doesn't get really attacked here. I will do something brave and attack this one for experience, because the scout, when it levels up, gets really useful benefits. You see, the experience bar is indicated here, and once you level up, you can choose upgrades for your units. But every new level takes more experience than the previous one. Your units get only experience when they attack someone or are attacked by someone. You see, he attacked me, so I got again experience. But he also took quite a bit of damage. I will not attack him again, because then I'm risking that he strikes back and kills me. But instead I will fortify here. This means I will heal every turn I don't move, and I'm fortified. And it gives me the fortification bonus to my defense combat strength that I mentioned before. So I shouldn't take too much damage if he attacks again. And of course I heal a little bit. If there would be another barbarian around here, it would be a bit risky, and I would probably try to run away until there are no barbarians around me anymore and I can heal up like this in a safe spot. Also, your units heal faster if they are within your borders. I can shoot again, and I can actually kill this barbarian. For this one it's not enough. And I have grown, and I can work a new type. 15 turns. This is a bit slow. I could now consider to unwork, for example, this, to build the wonder in 15 turns. But I will grow not at all for a long time. Or I work this and I will grow in 15 turns and be able to finish this in 18 turns. It depends a little bit on what you're willing to risk. Another thing you can do, you can go to cities of other players, zoom a bit in, and search for the wonder. I am building Stonehenge and I can actually see it in here. If an AI is building that wonder, you can see it in there too. You see, this is like on the corner a little bit out of my cities. Of my city, it could also be here, here, or here, or here, or here. So it can be on one of those spots. This means it is the very same for an AI. So if that person would build it and it would spawn here, here, or here, I could actually see it. Of course, it's possible that it's in here and I can't see it. Same with Arabia. Sometimes you're like, I'm not sure if I can get that wonder. And then you just check the AI's capitals, and if I would see now Arabia is already building it here, then I know, oh wow, Arabia already started it, I may not get it, and then I may not try at all.
เราพ่อขุนรามคำแหงกษัตริย์แห่งสยามนับเป็นเกียรติอย่างยิ่งที่ท่านเดินมาที่เยี่ยมประเทศสยามของเราเจ้าบอกว่า
You see, I can offer him an embassy. What does this mean? Why can I offer him an embassy and he can't offer me one? You can ask other players, other AIs, for an embassy when you have writing. It shows here, allows embassies to be established at other civilizations' capitals. This means all those civilizations that can get an embassy with us have writing. We can't with them because we don't have writing. There is a wonder in here, the Great Library, one of the best wonders in the game. If I realize that the AIs don't have writing, it means I have a good chance at getting this wonder. If I see that like half the AI already have writing, the chance is quite high that I won't get it. Also, we have started on Stonehenge now, so we probably should focus on that and not think too much about the Great Library. Although, I will tell you this, to go pottery, and then writing, and then start a great library, and while building the great library get mining and chop a forest to boost the production of the great library is a really good way to get a super strong early game. My scout got attacked again, very nice. Now I can get a promotion. Unless your unit dies otherwise, do not take instant heal, because this means the next promotion gets more expensive and you don't get a permanent benefit. So these two are much better. I really love the visibility range. Ah, so good. But I will move now away because I'm a little bit afraid to die. See, he wants to buy our embassy. We refuse. Now we will heal a little bit here. I will check this every turn, because if a barbarian comes up this hill, I may be threatened by that, and if I don't notice that, I may lose my scout. So pay attention to your unit's healing. Don't forget about it. Here I will kill this with my warrior and not with my city, because my warrior will get experience. Killing barbarians gives experience only to level 2 of your unit. Afterwards, killing barbarians will give no experience anymore. Another technology we have to choose for. In archery is also a really good wonder. Actually, one of the best wonders of the game, because the plus 10% growth in all cities is incredibly good. Especially because that stacks with all other growth benefits. So this gets better over time. And it's for all cities. This is amazing. And the archer is really nice early on to defend against barbarians. Let's get that, just to be prepared. Or although we will build the Stonehenge for quite a few turns, so we should probably go for some more passive benefit, since we will neither build an archer nor the Temple of Artemis. We could go for bronze working, which reveals iron on the map. That is really useful. Let's see. Oh, and also animal husbandry revealed horses on the map. Let's check where horses are. We see over here are horses. Horses are a really good tile to use because it gives 2 food and 1 production. The tile yield has not updated yet. Because on the bottom right the tooltip says 2 food, 1 production. But because it just got explored this turn, the overall yields did not react to it yet. Oh, there is a barbarian encampment down there. Here I take a bonus for flatland, because I like to kill units that stand on flatland. Then there they don't get any defensive bonuses, and this will help me with that. But first I will heal a little bit, because I'm damaged. Also I will check my scout. Everything's safe. Next turn. This worker can now go and improve something new. Let's help out on this time. What changes if we go for this? 1 turn faster. Only 1 turn. That's not worth it. We stay with this. Also, if you hover over a forest, you see the land beneath it. In this case, it's grassland. What does this mean? This is actually important. If we chop this forest, the forest will be gone. A forest on default, as you see up here, gives 1 food and 1 production, will be what is beneath it, which is grassland. And grassland, you can see here, is 2 food. So once we have chopped this, this tile will be 2 food and 0 production, instead of 1 food and 1 production. This means once we chopped it, we may want to reassign the tiles again. Probably we want to do that anyway as soon as we get the horses. My warrior is nearly finished with healing. I will send him now down to deal with barbarians. There is already an archer. Archers are super squishy, but they can range attack you. So if you deal with them with a unit that has full health, super easy. If your unit is already damaged, maybe better retreat, because he will get poked at from distance. Let's check our scout again. Still healing. We should let him heal another turn, and then he can move again with enough health to survive suddenly appearing barbarians. Here we want to chop. You see, if I go chop, it says 3 turns, while here it says 9 turns. Wait, what? Down here it was only 5 turns. This means because it adds the chopping and the plantation together. We do the chopping. It also tells you that you will get 1 more food for the tile but lose a production. And it will give you 20 production for your nearest city. So a 20 production boost for our wonder. That's really good. That speeds us up by a lot of turns. I mean, we produced 9.2 production. This means we save more than 2 turns. That's good. So we will be done in 11 turns. Oh, we got the horses. Let's reassign it. 9 turns growth, 12 turns production, 7 turns growth. Okay, we get a little bit less money, but 7 turns growth is amazing. That's faster. And when we grow, we will get to work on one of these production tiles, which speeds this up again. That's how you optimize it. Here, I should attack the archer. It indicates that we can kill it, which we could. Nice. Let's check our scout. Let's move on. No. So this guy could also build the Great Light. He's building Stonehenge. He started on Stonehenge. Do you see that? That's good that I checked. Now I know we have competition for Stonehenge. We are already a few turns in. We are actually close to half of it. He has only 3 population in his city. And as I can see, not that much production tiles. So we should be able to beat him with that. Oh no, there is a barbarian threatening our builder. I will do a little trick here. I expect this guy to take my builder. Workers and settlers cannot defend themselves. You need a military unit on top of them to fight for them and protect them. If the military unit dies by a melee attack, the worker or settler gets taken away too. But if you kill someone that is protecting a worker or settler, you get that unit, which is very nice. I will chop this, and I know this guy will come and take me, but I can retake it with my warrior because this one is very damaged. Therefore, I'm not very concerned about this. If this guy would be full health, I would have moved this worker away into safety, out of range of this. This is very good. See, now we have 9 turns for this. I will now do something cheesy again and heal here, and hope that this this archer will attack me for experience. Fortified on a hill, it will not kill me that quickly, and it's free experience, and because I'm a scout I can always run away over here. Of course I have to keep attention to it. If there is another barbarian appearing that is dangerous. You hear a noise, and here it says, oh no, a worker was captured. Exactly as planned. I can retake this. Mine again. I did lose nothing except the movement for this worker for 1 turn. All fine. You see, the Maya have settled down here, on the city spot we actually planned to. This could mean we change our plans and settle somewhere else. It could also mean we plan to build military in the future and kill him. Especially if he manages to build a Stonehenge faster than we do, then I recommend just kill him. If someone is building all the wonders and is this close to you, build military and kill them. Here I better heal, and I start to improve the plantation. I could also try to buy another forest and go chop that for an additional production boost. Actually, since we have competition, that is probably smarter than improving this. We can always come back to this and improve it later. Let's follow with the warrior just in case there are barbarians up here, since this camp is still here and occasionally sending barbarians. Over here we're still fine, but we have to keep an eye on it. Let's move over here and 2. Also, I really have the money to buy that. And we have bronze working, this means iron is on the map. Over here is a source of iron. And down here. And over here. Sadly, nothing in the reach of our city. This is getting a bit too dangerous for my taste. I'm in the red one. So I move away. And we have to get another technology. Here we have different options. I do not recommend to go for ironworking. Yes, it gives us the Legion, which is our unique unit and stronger than what it ever replaces. That's a Roman unit, nice. But it costs iron, this takes forever to research, and we are nowhere ready to go to war, and we don't even have iron, so don't do things like that. Do that later. War is always about timing, not necessarily the amount of units. It's about when you have the units. Because you can have 10 archers. If your enemy has advanced units like pikemen and crossbows, they will slaughter you even if they have just 2 crossbows and 1 pikeman and you have 10 archers. You will have no chance. But if you are the first to get, for example, crossbows, then you can slaughter everyone who do not have. But I'll explain that later. Let's go for writing. This guy did follow us, so let's run away further. Another barbarian encampment. This is rather dangerous for our little scout. Here we move, we check what city doesn't take that. So we buy it for 50 bucks. There's a barbarian, but we still move the worker there because we have a warrior ourselves to protect him. And on the forest he has a defense bonus. While if this guy attacks, he doesn't have a bonus, only if he defends. And we are not intending to attack at all. Also we can heal on this spot, and it's inside our borders, so we heal faster. Barbarians cannot heal. See, he decided to not attack. Now we heal, and our worker chops this down. He will have to be too slow to chop this in time, but that's okay. I will interrupt it though, so it reminds me next turn to do something again. Here we can try to run away. Hopefully we manage it and no barbarian comes from here. No one came. I will set this one on alert. This means when a unit comes within range, it will wake up. But it also means if no unit comes, it will heal until it's full and then continue to stay where it is. So you forget about it sometimes. I will chop one more time and then reconsider, because I will not be able to chop in time for the wonder. So I don't want the chop to go to waste. I want to use... We got it, that's really nice. Now we get 5 faith per turn, and I can very soon explain the faith mechanics. Now we can build other things. I would recommend though in 3 turns to start on the library. Research is very crucial. So we could build something for 3 turns. I decide to build another warrior. If I could, it would be smarter to build an archer right now because we have lots of barbarians around us. Here we better fortify, and with the builder we don't do... No, we actually move back. We have to retreat. There are 3 units that can hit us. If we are here, only this guy can hit us. Here we will move on the hill, and with this one too. Can choose something here again. We go for legalism. This is really good. We check on our scout. Okay. We fortify here, F. And our worker will cross over the river. So we can improve this. I've seen a lot of barbarians around here, but also down here. That means I will not move directly on this tile. Why? I will move here and then wait a turn. Because if I move here, my movement ends. I will not work on it anyway. But next turn I can move in and start to work. So I don't lose any time working on this. But by moving here now, I risk that if a barbarian is here or here, they will move in and take it. And I can currently not protect it. I will shoot this and let my warrior heal. We got a new technology to research. I recommend philosophy. This is an advanced thing, but it's really important if you want to maximize science. Philosophy has, first of all, a really good wonder, one of the better wonders of the game, that you often can get because the AI is usually a little bit slow with that one. And also a super important thing, a national wonder. What is a national wonder? A national wonder is not a wonder as in the other ones. The national wonder can be built by everyone. Everyone can build the national wonder once. There are other national wonders. For example, down here the East India Company is a national wonder, and over here the ironworks is also a national wonder. They can only be built once in your empire, but they can be built once in every empire. So every other player can build it even if you built it before them. Doesn't matter. But they have a requirement, and that is a library in all cities. This means if I have many cities already, I need to build a library first in all of them to be able to build this in my capital. But if I don't settle at all and just go directly for this, I can build this first and then settle and get a library in my other cities. This way I maximize science by a big time. And as you can see, this building gives plus 50% science and plus 3 flat science. That's a lot of science. That's really useful. And I want that early, because again, it lets me research everything else faster. We were a little bit on the slow side because we decided to go for the Stonehenge and not for writing. This means we are already a little bit behind in science, but we can catch up if we do this now. We're going to build a library right after this warrior. We can actually queue that up because there is a little button that allows you to get a production queue and add things to the queue. We will go for the library. We can switch things around too with the little arrows, but don't queue up too much because sometimes you may want to screw the queue over and build urgently something completely new. Also, we can let our city grow again. Let's lock down this time. And as soon as we can, this one. Right now it's blocked by the barbarian. Now we have writing, so we can exchange this. Let's do this. I recommend you to do this with everyone that offers you. Because as you can see, we see now where they are, which is really useful for us. We see here is Siam, and here is Spain. And we see now all the land around it. Oh, with Arabia we didn't do that yet. Oh, he doesn't have writing, so he cannot build the Great Library. But all these 3 people could build this wonder. So if we would intend to build this wonder instead of the library, which we could, it would take us a little bit long, but it's a really good wonder. We can check if any of them is building it. This one is not building it. She is not building it either. And he is not building it. Let us be greedy. I mean, there are 3 more people in this game that we don't know if they have this yet. We can check something though. In demographics, this little button and then demographics, you can see who is how good in science. Usually someone who has a high percentage of science has writing. Let's do the fights in here again. Oh, it did kill it. That's fine. We will move the worker first. No barbarian, very good. We can work on it. But we will also move the new warrior over the river, over down here, to protect the worker in case of new barbarians. This one will stay here in case any of these comes closer. Also, it has went back to the tile we assigned earlier, since it's now free again. In 7 turns we will grow. In 7 turns we want to go full on production again, to get the Great Library fast. You may have noticed this huge yellow button since a while that is maybe annoying you that I don't click on it. That is because I've reached enough faith to get a Pantheon. A Pantheon is a benefit that is for all your cities as long as they do not have an enemy religion in them, and is a passive benefit for things. For example, there is also again this 10% growth rate which stacks with the other wonder I once mentioned. You can get +1 production from fishing boats. That can be really useful if you have lots of that. We're not even coastal, so not very useful. There is +1 culture from plantations. We build plantations on these 2 cottons and the silk. That could be useful. Over here is another silk, and up here are 2 cottons where we maybe expand to with another city. That would be for culture in the long run. Oral tradition would be good for us. We are building a wonder. Monument of the Gods could be good. Or just get the growth rate is also always good. How do you get a religion, you may wonder? This is just a pantheon and not a religion, right? Exactly. A religion you get after you got a pantheon, you need to get up to 200 faith. And as soon as you have reached that point, you will have every turn a chance to spawn a great prophet. Sometimes you spawn it on the very first turn, lucky you. Sometimes it takes like 9 turns to spawn one, unlucky you. But you require first to have 200 faith. So if you want a religion fast, it may be useful to look for a pantheon that gives you a lot of faith. Just read through them and check what you actually have. I mean, there's copper, iron and salt, which we sadly don't have. Desert tiles, tundra tiles, we don't have that. Quarries, yeah, we could build a quarry, but we don't even have the technology, so it would take a while. Culture from jungle, if you have lots of jungle, that's actually good. 15% border growth is garbage. I mean, it's good early on, but it's irrelevant later on. You'd rather want something stronger. I mean, especially since I could buy, if I really need a tile, I just buy it. Food from banana, citrus and wheat can be very powerful if you have lots of them. In this case, it's actually a little bit hard to choose anything. Let's get this one, the culture from plantation. Gives us immediate benefit by 1 culture and soon a bit more. Someone else also got a pantheon. If you hover over this, you also see religions that still can be founded. There is a limit on how many people can found a religion. And as you can see, there are 5 religions that can still be founded, but we are 8 people. So 3 people will miss out on a religion. I will now move my warrior up here to deal with this. And the other one down here to deal with this camp. I'm annoyed by all these barbarians. Let's get rid of them. Our scout has noticed the unit and alerted us. Oh, there's a natural wonder. Gives us 1 happiness for discovering it.
تعال.
He asks us for friendship. Let's do this. If you're not intending to go to war, it's good to do friendship with people. If this guy would have, for example, settled a city here and up here or something like that, like boxing us in, and we intend to kill him, we should not do friendship. Otherwise, you should do friendship because it offers new trading options. Let's move around and scout more. This guy has another promotion, new options available. With melee units, I recommend to take cover because defense against ranged attacks is really useful, especially since those 2 are ranged. We will attack one and then see if we have to retreat again. That we build another one right away is a little bit greedy, but we know that the people who we know for sure to have the tech are not actually building it. We know how it looks. You see, it's in the city and it looks like this when it's being built. I don't see it here. I don't see it here. And I don't see it here.
السلام عليكم.
And this guy cannot buy an embassy from
ماذا
us,
كنت
so he
تقول؟
doesn't even have the technology for it. This is a bit risky. Let's move back on our hill and here start to kill this. You can also check city-states again. Oh, the city-states have quests. This one wants spices and to kill a barb camp. If we want to know which barb camp, we can click on the icon and it will move us there. See? It shows this is the barb camp they want to have killed and will reward us with influence. We must have done something for the other 2 city-states too, because they like us. So we are actually getting food in our city from Manila and Mombasa. Very nice. And Mombasa has another quest. Barbarian encampment and a trade route. Which barbarian encampment? Oh, there's one down there. We could kill that too after we've dealt with this one for the influence. Also a trade route. You may have noticed in here the caravan. The caravan is a trade route establish unit. This means once you've finished it, you can establish a trade route. I will explain how it works once we have one. I will move into my city where I'm safe from an attack and heal there. With this guy I will move into my city too, because I want to improve the horses very soon. The game recommends me to build a farm here, but I don't intend to do that because I want to work production tiles very soon. Sadly, down here an archer spawned, so I have to retreat. I will retreat to this hill up here. A barbarian, have you seen that? A barbarian just stole the worker from Vancouver. We could get that back. Let's move on this tile. Because this means we block this from going directly into here because of zone of control. What the heck is zone of control? I'll make an example. Let's look at this archer. Let's imagine I have a unit on the horse. Say my warrior is on this horse tile. If I want to move directly into my city, usually I would be able. This is flat land, move here, move into the city. No problem. But there is an enemy unit. A unit of someone I'm at war with. Barbarians count as always at war with. Then it means they do zone of control around the tiles adjacent to them. This means if I want to move around it, I cannot do freely. It means my movement will end after one movement. I can only do from here to here or here to here. Of course, if I move away from it, from the horses, for example, down here, I can do that because the zone of control only means I cannot move around it easily. So I cannot move here and further because I already moved one adjacent and it ends my movement here. This means this warrior cannot move directly over here. For example, he could move the archer out and then move in. No, he can't. Zone of control from me. He can only move here or over here. Let's shoot at this guy and kill him with the warrior. You see, archers are super squishy. Even a damaged warrior can kill him. Now I will do something cheesy. I know if I move directly on the horse, I will not be able to work on it yet. But I can next turn. But next turn I can work on it now too. This means I save one turn and put it into a farm. I will interrupt it again so I can next turn move on here and finish this farm later. But it means I already have a turn into a farm in here. More units approaching. I better heal right in place. And move now here and get to work on the pasture without losing any time. The archer really attacked me. Wow. I will heal now. I need the promotion. The city-state will also attack this unit with its bombardment, the city bombardment. The city-states have that too. Every city has that. See? Got damage. Now it started to fortify with the unit in camp to protect the builder, the worker. I will not attack anything right now because I want to heal and not take damage and maybe killed by the barbarians. Because there are two of them. That's a bit too risky for me. My scout can move again and explore the land. Oh look, there's another city-state. You see the striped border. Also, we may be able to do this faster. Let's move here and chop the forest. 5 turns for the horse and then improvement for production would be helpful too. But let's do it super fast. And let's get this away and go here. 9 turns instead of 10 turns. That's 1 turn faster. That's already something. I could even do this at the cost of some culture and money. If this guy moves here, this tile gets blocked. That's why I'm a little bit torn on it, on what I want to do. Here the other one died. We can attack this again. Oh, it did attack us. That's really good. This means it's not fortified anymore. Therefore we can do lots of damage to it. Very nice. And we're healthy enough to take a shot back and survive it. Same here, we can kill this one. And we can chop this for a production boost. Yes. Nice. Now it's only 6 turns. What if I do this? 7 turns. No. We want it in 6. We need to rush this. If we do this, still 6 turns. Perfect. This is how we optimize. We switch things around and figure out what's the fastest way. Hello. See, we are not the first to meet them, so we only get 15 gold. Still, that's really nice. Let's protect them. I want the barbarian encampment to be cleared over here. I only have a scout around, that's not really a thing I can do. Let's explore more fog. Sometimes you find a ruin that the AI has missed. Oh, there's spawned another barbarian down there. Another ranged unit. Let's take the shock promotion again and just heal up and hope that the city-state archer will help us in here. Let's improve this one because we get culture out of it and we will not finish anything in time for the Great Library. Here I will move into my land and heal up. City-state killed this, very nice. If you're lucky, the city-state shoots again at this, so we heal another turn. And scout a bit more with our scout. This is all we do right now. Of course, like I said, there are other ways to play it. Instead of building wonders, I could go for settlers, although I think the timing with this is very nice. Yes, he shot at it. And he shot at me. It's nice, I get free experience and can kill it now. Oh, it shows me something. You have captured a civilian which used to belong to Vancouver. That's Vancouver. You have the choice of returning it to them, so giving it back, or keep it for yourself as a worker. So now it tells me I can either have this as my own free worker, very nice, an additional worker is good to improve my land, or I can give it to them for 45 influence. If you already have enough workers anyway, return it for the influence. If you have no workers or not many, take it. We only have one worker, so we of course going to take it. This warrior has healed, can start to get this camp down. Two more turns and then we have this wonder. Very nice. Oh, someone has cleared it. Interesting. Let's see if this camp is still here. Yes. If someone else clears it, the city-states will cease their quests. Next turn we will have this tile. Let's bring the worker there. Nice, we have another plantation. Oh, no, this goes to 2 turns. We're not doing this. Also, we have now 2 silk. As you see, we have a lot of luxuries and a lot of happiness. And when you hover over your happiness, you see from what you get what happiness. I get 4 happiness from having silk and 4 happiness from having cotton. It doesn't matter if I have just 1 silk in my whole empire or 10 silk. It makes no difference. It's 4 happiness per luxury good you have. If you're not sure, is stone a luxury good? Hover over it, it will tell you. No, it's not. That only gives you production. Silk is a luxury good though, it gives 4 happiness. Ah, nice. Good to know. Happiness is used, if you are positive in happiness, you're doing good. And you get golden age points. Ignore that, not relevant for the game that much. What is relevant though, if you're unhappy, you get penalties to the combat strength of your units, to the production of your cities, and to the growth of your cities. Your cities will become weak, and your units too, if you are unhappy, and actually accumulative. The more unhappy you are, the weaker your units and cities get. So try to stay happy. We are very happy right now. What gives unhappiness then? A city. Every city gives you negative happiness on default. It gives you a penalty on happiness. So every city costs happiness. Also a city growing costs you happiness. Oh my god, that's terrible. So many cities means negative happiness. Maybe, yes. That's why luxuries are so important. If you build a new city, for example, let's have a good example. Okay, let's say I would have gotten a city down here and this one wouldn't be so close. This one wouldn't be here. A city here would mean I get the luxury truffles which I otherwise wouldn't have. This means 4 happiness. Building this city will cost me a little bit of happiness, but it will also allow me to get the truffles which will give me happiness. So I get a new city that can give me science and production and culture and money and all the good things. That doesn't really cost me happiness because it brings me also new happiness. And that's how you try to balance it. There are also buildings and wonders that give happiness. For example, the Colosseum gives 2 happiness for your city. This is nice. Also, in the social policies, there are things that give happiness. For example, this one actually decreases unhappiness for amount of population in your city. Very useful if you have a big capital that will reduce your happiness by a lot. Can counterfeit that with this one. So happiness is really important. What do you do then with your spare silk? We have 2 silk now, but we get only happiness for 1. You can trade it away. We go to the diplomacy menu and check diplomacy overview. Here we can check certain things that are not important right now. Your relationships is what you want to see. Here you see what AI has which resources hooked up. Right now, no AI has resources available for trade. And most AIs are negative in money. Only Ramkhamhaeng has money. I could now go
ยินดีต้อนรับ
trade and sell him silk for money. Because I have 1 spare, I don't need it, I can sell him. The AI pays up to 7 gold. That's why I will not sell it right now, because he has only 2 gold, he can't give me enough. We have a friendship with Harun al-Rashid. This means I can sell it to him for direct gold.
ماذا كنت تقول؟
Which I will do. I will ask him for all his gold. We see also embassies are available for both sides, he has writing, but I will also buy the embassy from him. Because I know this is worth more. It is worth either 7 gold per turn or 240 gold flat. The trade is permanent for 30 turns. This means if he gives me gold per turn, I will get that for 30 turns.
حسنا.
I did this now even though I know I did not get 240 gold, which would have been better. But no one has any gold they can give me. Pakal has more gold, but Pakal is not really... We don't have a friendship with Pakal, so he can only give me gold per turn, of which he has -1. Another city-state. We have a lot of money, which is really good. And we got that really strong wonder. We get a free tech. You can see the techs you can pick here. But I wouldn't pick it from here. I would open the tech tree and see what you can get, where you want to get. Because you want to take one of the expensive ones that takes 14 turns and not a 5-turn tech. And obviously not the ones that we have finished in 4 turns. So think about this properly before making a decision. Here I will take drama and poetry. Because it's an expensive one and I don't have iron and I'm not coastal for the Colossus and I don't need other technologies down here, while the technologies up here, theology, civil service and education, are primary technologies. You want them rather early. They have generally more priority than these because they enable you a strong economy. Theology has the garden and has super good wonders for getting a religion. Very useful. Civil service has the Chichen Itza, one of the strongest wonders in the game. Careful, the AI loves to build it, so check closely if anyone is building it already. And it gives you +1 food from every farm that is next to fresh water, which means rivers and lakes. And that's really good. That's free food for your cities. Very nice. And education is so good because it gives you university, which is again a good science building that you can build in every city. So if your capital actually has a library, a great library, a national college and a university, your science will be through the roof and you can run away with the game. And that's the goal. Run away with science. That's good for every victory condition. Let's pick it and then go for this.
What is
Now,
welcome?
I was talking about victory conditions. How do you win this game, you may ask, if you never did it? There are 5 ways to win this game. Conquest or domination, tourism, culture, science, diplomacy, or score. Score means when the time runs out, you win if you have the highest score on the list. Boring. Science means if you are the first to build all spaceship parts that are all the way up here in the tech tree. This is a spaceship part, this is one, this is one, this is one. If you build all of them as the first person and send them to space in your capital, you win the game. So this means if you have a huge amount